So basically, Tableau. So actually, I already gave one demo for Tableau. This is the second day, but I hope this is your first class, right? And before starting, can you please let me tell you about yourself a bit? Like, are you working or are you a student? Do you have any basic knowledge of Tableau, or is this your first time?
Well, actually, I was working as a DevOps engineer, and I'm transition to Power BI, SQL, and Tableau. So I'm not working right now. I'm still looking for a job. Nothing for a job.
Okay, so you already have some hands-on experience on Tableau?
No, no.
No. Okay, fine, fine. All right. Thank you. So let me just say this is the Tableau desktop. I'm just opening my Tableau desktop. Let me show you the user interface of Tableau desktop today, and let me show you how to create, how we will basically create some graphs. Okay. So before that, let me tell you about, we have so many Tableau products from the Tableau community. So Tableau desktop is one of the product. Oh, okay. So just a second. So we have this many Tableau products. So one is Tableau Desktop, Tableau Server, Tableau Online, Tableau Reader, and Tableau Public. So Tableau Desktop is the one where we will create all the visualizations and graphs actually. Okay, and Tableau Server, it is a kind of server which is maintained. I mean, it's a server from the Tableau product, and mostly Tableau administrators use Tableau server. Along with the administrators, we Tableau developers will also use Tableau server. Okay, so the basic concept is in the Tableau server, whatever basically graphs or dashboards we will create in the Tableau desktop, we can publish that Tableau desktop in the server. It is a kind of cloud where, by first we for every Tableau developers or data analysts, for us, we need to have our own Tableau online account. So first we'll create our own Tableau online account by using Tableau Cloud. Then by using that credentials, we'll just log in into the Tableau server, and where we will do a lot of function, we will have a lot of functionalities over there. Like, we can, whatever graphs we created, whatever dashboards we created, if we want to share them to anyone, like maybe to our clients or manager, anyone, if we are sharing, then we will share that in the Tableau server only. And along with that, we'll have so many options over there. Okay, and we will have some concepts like subscriptions, alerts, so many things. We will do all those things in the Tableau server level. Along with that, we have so many admin options there, which generally used by the Tableau administrators. Or else I can say we'll have some kind of site role permissions. See, like if we use any Google Drive kind of thing to share any document, whenever we are sharing any document, we can able to give the access to any files, right? Either we can select to whomever we are sharing that file, that we can select the access, whether we are giving either we can give either read only permission or editable permissions, like that. In the same way, whatever dashboards we are publishing, whatever dashboards we are sharing to someone, we can give some permissions over there, and that is called as site roles. Whoever users are, suppose if you are working in any project, okay, so obviously all the team members will be for all the team members, they will create a group in the Tableau server. Within that group, every individual will be called as a user. Okay, accordingly, according to the work we will do, according to the position we are we are according to the job role, or according to the position, or according to the work we will do in that project, they will give us some access, site role permissions, I can say. So that to that extent we can use this Tableau server. Okay, like that we will having so many options. So In our course, not only Tableau Desktop, I will teach Tableau Server. I'll show you how we will create Tableau online account. And one more important product. Here it is missing in this picture actually. Just a second. That is Tableau Prep. We have one more product, Tableau Reader, Tableau Public, Tableau Server, Tableau Online, and Tableau Prep. Tableau Prep is a kind of preparatory tool. It is a kind of ETL. Okay, we have ETL tools in there, so many ETL tools in the market, right? So we have so many ETL tools in the market, right? So Tableau Prep is a kind of ETL tool uh, within the Tableau, I can say. Obviously, we have something called as Tableau community. Tableau is one of the products. In from Tableau, we are having this many products actually. One is Tableau Desktop, where we'll create all the graphs. Okay, all the visualizations, all the graphs will create here only. And next, Tableau server, just now I explained it's a kind of platform. In real time also mostly we'll work on Tableau server only. We Whenever we are working for any company on any project, we will be given our own credentials in our company, right? So with that credentials, we can able to log in and we can able to do all the things in the Tableau server. But here individually, as we are trying to learn, right? So for that, if not the real time credentials or real time whatever company we are working for, that company will give our credentials, right? Without that, for personally, if we want to use Tableau server, we will create our own Tableau online account by using a Tableau cloud platform. Then we will get some credentials, and by using that credentials, we will log into the Tableau server. Okay, and Tableau Prep is a kind of ETL tool within a Tableau. Okay, in this, what we'll do, obviously, we know to Tableau Desktop, what is Tableau? It is a kind of visualization tool, where we will create some graphs out of some data, right? We will obviously in real time, every domain, every company, everywhere, everything is happening because of the data only. Out of the data only, every day we are generating a lot of data, obviously, and out of that data only, by using that data only, we will just trying to improve our business in every domain. Correct? So here also, we will, by within that data, we will just try to analyze the data, and we will try to create some reports over here. Correct? So for that data, before starting analyzing or before creating any graphs, if we want to clean our data, it may be in our data, it may have null values, it may have duplicate values, we have one concept called as outliers. We will discuss that going forward. So not only this, if we want to clean the data in some ways, maybe for some tables, if you want to split the values, if you want to combine any columns like that, we will have so many cleaning steps, I can say, or else cleaning options, I can say. However, we want to clean the data. Not only cleaning the data, we can able to prepare our data. We will have some concepts like if we want to perform aggregations, joins, unions, we'll have so many options again. If basically by using Tableau Prep, we will just prepare our data or clean our data to some extent according to our requirement. After that, we will connect that data to the Tableau desktop to create some graphs. So this is about the Tableau products actually. Okay. So in our course, we will learn Tableau desktop, Tableau server, Tableau online, and Tableau prep. Okay. Next, Tableau reader, it is just read only kind of thing. If whatever Tableau dashboards or files saved on the Tableau reader, uh, basically if we want to access them, we can just, however we will save any file in our laptops, when we saved any file in our systems, we can just access them without anyone's permission. Whenever we want, we can just access them, right? In the same way, whatever files are saved in the Tableau reader, any of the users can just access them freely whenever they want. And whatever data, whatever visualizations are stored in the Tableau reader, that is again that will be safe. Okay. So next we are having Tableau public. Tableau Public is one another tool where where we can even create some visualizations and graphs, I can say, just like the Tableau Desktop. But Tableau Desktop is a complete package, will get us a complete package where we can do all the functionalities or where we can use all the data sources available. So what is the difference between Tableau Desktop and Tableau Public? I'll explain going forward. Okay. Basically, Tableau Desktop, to use the Tableau Desktop, what I can say, to use the Tableau Desktop, we will have only 14 days of free trial. That means once we install Tableau Desktop, we can use Tableau Desktop for only 14 days if we install it normally. After that, we need to take license. We need to make some payment to use the Tableau Desktop, or else it is free. Tableau Desktop is free for students for 1 year. If you can able to, upload any of the student ID of anyone, it may be, if we can make it, if we can get any of the student ID card from any of our friends or family, if we can able to upload any of the student ID card in one website, we'll have one website. So once we upload any of the student ID card, they will send us a product key. By using that product key, we can access Tableau Desktop for 1 year. So this is the process how we will use the Tableau Desktop. Or else, if not Tableau Desktop, if you think that after 14 days of free trial is done, if you think you, if I think that I won't, I can't use any student ID card, but still I want to practice, or if you want to create some graphs, I can use Tableau Public. Tableau Public is freely available. It is a free product, but there will be limitations. That one I'll just show you in a while. Okay, so this is about all the products available. So in our course, we will cover not only Tableau Desktop, for usually for all the, developers will work on Tableau Desktop, but in real time here in learning process, we will learn and we'll practice everything in the Tableau Desktop. But once we get into the company, we need to work on Tableau Server as well. So here I will show you Tableau Server, how we will work with Tableau Server, and how we will work with Tableau Prep practically. Okay, so as I said, these are all the products available. This is a Tableau Desktop where we will create all the graphs and where we will work. So I just opened it. If you can see, this is the Connect panel. Towards the left side, you can see, as we know, we need first of all data, correct? To to create some graphs, to analyze something, we need data, right? And the data can be in any format. It can be in the form of Excel file, any text file, or it can be in the form of any database. We'll have this many options here to connect to the data, okay, under the Connect panel. So here also, if you can see, if I'm clicking on more, these are all the available databases where I can connect from. Okay, so each one of this is called as a data source. Basically, Excel file is one data source. Like that, all the servers are, each and everything where we are from, where by using which we are connecting the data, that are called as data sources. So in Tableau Desktop, we are having this many data sources, right? Whereas I just now explained about Tableau Public, that is freely available, I said, right? In the Tableau Public, we can't have this many data sources. We can't even connect to any of the servers. We can able to connect to the Microsoft Excel. Like that, we will have only 2 or 3 data sources. By using that only, we need to practice everything. Suppose if you are using for if you want to use Tableau for only learning purpose, only practicing purpose, even without desktop, you can use public. You can connect to any of the Excel file and you can just create some graphs. And whatever graphs you are creating in the Tableau Public, that graphs you cannot able to store. That you cannot able to save it in your local machines. Whereas in Tableau Desktop, whatever we will create, all that graphs we can store in our local machines, and we can open it and we can, use them whenever we want. That is a major difference between Tableau Desktop and Tableau Public. So let's just connect to any one of the file and let's just try to create our first graph. This is the Connect panel, as I said. In between, under Open, you can just able to see the list of the dashboards available. List of the whatever recently I worked on, that graphs or that dashboards is available here. Okay. So let me just connect to Excel file once, Microsoft Excel. So I'm having one Excel file in which I have some, it is a kind of sample superstore data. I'm just clicking on open. Right. So I'm having 3 sheets in that Excel file. I'll just drag the orders one in which I will have my order details. Okay. Row ID, order date, ship date, like that. I'm having some kind of data over here. Okay. And Tableau, if you can observe, this is very smarter enough. If you already attended my SQL class, so we already discussed how to create the tables, how we already discussed about the data types, right? So we know whenever we are creating any table, we will in SQL we will define data type manually. Correct? In Tableau is very smarter. Once we just push the data, automatically you can see for each and every column it will automatically recognizes the data types, and you can see some symbols here. This symbols represents the data types. Hash in the sense numerical data type, ABC in the sense character data type. This is a calendar symbol which indicates the date data types. And we have one more data type here, which these 4 data types you will use more frequently in Tableau, that is numerical, character, date data type, and one more thing is geographical data type. And the symbol is globe, which is used for, location kind of columns. Okay. So we are not creating or we are not defining any data types here. Automatically Tableau will recognize this and it will show us like this. Okay. And basically this is called as whatever, once we connect to the data, whatever page we can able to see, this is called as data source level, where we can able to see what kind of data we got connected. It's showing me that Excel file, and it is showing me the file name, and I can just have some options. If we are connecting to Excel file, it will show me the sheets option. If I connected to any of the database, like maybe SQL Server, MySQL, it will just show me the from here I can select the database which I wanted to work on. Okay. And here it will just give me the preview of the data. Whatever data I got connected, it will just show me that data here. And towards the top right, you can observe something called as connection. So I just said, as I said just now, to create any graphs, we need database, right? First, I mean, to create any graph, we need data first of all, right? Then only we will just connect that data to the desktop and we can able to create some graphs. Imagine that this is the database where we'll have the data, and this is the Tableau desktop where we will create some graphs. Okay. So obviously to get the data to the Tableau desktop, there should be something in between which helps us to connect the data, right? If the data is here, if I need to create some graphs here, there should be some communication path, or there should be something in between which helps us to connect the data to the Tableau desktop, right? That is nothing but Tableau connection. Okay. This is the thing. We are having 2 types of Tableau connection, that is live connection and extract connection. By default, we will be on the live connection. And in which scenarios we will use extract connection, and what is live connection, what is extract connection, all those things we will learn going forward in our Tableau connections class. Okay. So that is what we can able to see here towards the top right, connection to basically on which connection we are, I mean by using which connection we just connected our data. Okay. So to create our graphs, we need to go to the sheet level. We're having one option called as sheet 1. I'm just clicking here. So this is the canvas where we will create the graphs. I'm having something called as show me towards the right side. If I'm just clicking here, will have 24 kind of inbuilt graphs available in Tableau. Okay. So this are all the fields which we're having in data source. You can see in this data I'm having this many columns, right? So all those columns list I can able to see in sheet level towards the left side. But if you can observe, there is a separation. So there is a separate line here. Basically all our columns will divide into 2 parts. The first part is called as dimensions. Okay. And the second part is called as measures. So what is dimension and what is measure in the sense? If I can say, all the numerical columns comes under measures, and remaining data type data like it may be character data, date data type data, geographical data, all the data comes under dimension. Okay. And to be precise, I can say for all the columns on whatever columns we can able to perform some kind of calculations, or on whatever columns we can able to perform some kind of aggregate functions. Aggregate functions is again we already discussed in SQL class. We know like sum, count, minimum, maximum, right? What is the another thing? Sum, count, minimum, maximum, average, right? All those aggregate functions on whatever columns we can able to create some calculations, maybe arithmetic calculation, maybe percentages, maybe aggregations. All those columns comes under measure. Obviously on numerical columns only we can able to create the aggregations and calculations, right? So those columns comes under measures, remaining all columns comes under dimension. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, clear.
Great. So this is how Tableau, again, it is automatically, it is very smart enough. It is just dividing the columns into two types. Okay. So here we'll have something called as rows and columns. We will just drag this columns to here. Once we just place our columns in this place, then we can able to create some graphs. Okay. For now, as you can see, all the graphs are disabled. Once I selected any column, that related graphs will be enabled for us. For example, I'm having subcategory here. I'm just selecting subcategory. If you can see, one graph is enabled for me. That means for whatever data I selected, only this graph is applicable. Let me select another data. Here, selecting the graphs columns is also very easy. I'll show you once again. Either we can drag and drop subcategory to the rows part. And if I want to analyze subcategory wise sales, I'm having sales here. I will drag sales to the columns part. If I do that, I can able to create one graph. If you can see, I selected two columns here. Accordingly, I got so many graphs enabled for me. So that means all these graphs which got enabled for me is applicable for this kind of data. Tableau is again very smarter. It will does the most of the things, right? It is very user friendly. We can it, and as I said, Tableau is, no coding platform, I can say. Coding will not be involved here. It was a very easy to learn, right? Just with some drag and drops, double clicks, and by using some formulas, we can create all the graphs. We can do all the functionalities in the Tableau. But again, we need to have SQL knowledge to some, at least some extent, to some extent, we should have SQL knowledge to learn the Tableau. So of course, we already covered SQL concepts in our SQL, and here also in this course also we will cover SQL Server. In SQL classes we covered MySQL, right? Here we'll cover SQL Server too, and again only basics of SQL Server, and then we will learn Tableau Desktop, and along with the Tableau Desktop, all the concepts. We'll have so many concepts in Tableau Desktop. We will cover each and every part. After that, we will cover Tableau Server and Tableau Prep. Okay, that is about that is what we are going to cover in this course. And you can see here, either I just dragged this and dropped it here and I got the graph, or else here I'm having actually this is, I can say once this is the canvas where we will create the graphs. At the top, basically this is called as a Tableau workbook. You can see here, book one. This is a complete Tableau workbook. Here, this is menu bar where we'll have so many options. Below that, we are having toolbar. Again, we are having some options. Going forward, we will learn whatever about the each and every options available here. Okay, in the show me panel, obviously we'll have the list of all the graphs available, right? So in the toolbar, we'll have an option called as this, basically, which we will use to clear the sheet. If I want to remove everything, whatever I created, I'll just use this. I'm just clearing this now. So previously I dragged columns. I mean, I dragged the fields to rows and columns, right? So no need of even dragging it. Simple way, the shortcut is that we can even double click on whatever we want. Like if I want to analyze subcategory wise sales, I'll double click on subcategory, I'll double click on sales. Directly, I can get able to get the graphs. Here, this first graph is selected. But if I wanted to create this graph, I can just select from here. If I wanted to create this graph, I can select from here. And if you observe, whenever I'm keeping my cursor on the graph, at the bottom, it is showing me the details of that graph. Like, it is showing me this graph, the name of the graph, that is horizontal bar. And it is also showing me the prerequisites, right? Like, 0 or more dimensions, 1 or more measure is required to create the graph. Obviously, this is the dimensions and this is the measures, right? So it is only showing us that, to create it, what we required actually. At least one measure is required to create this graph like that. That is the minimum things. And to create actually, even we can use more dimensions and more measures according to our requirement. Okay, I just simply double clicked and I got my graph. This is called as horizontal bar graph. Okay, in which we can understand that subcategories is there towards the in the y-axis. In the x-axis, I'm having sales here. If I can just close this and I can see up to here I'm having. So each bar indicates the sales of each subcategory here. Whatever, I mean, wherever we see the highest, the longest bar, it indicates the highest salary. Smallest bar indicates the smallest salary. Like that it is. Even we can sort this here. We'll have two options. If we want to sort it in the ascending order, we will just click this. Accordingly, it will sort. From the lowest to the highest, whatever sales we got, like that it will sort. To if you want sort it in the if you want to sort it in the descending order, this is the symbol which we have. If I'm clicking it, it will directly show me in the descending order. Along with that, if you can see, if I'm moving my cursor, you can able to see the subcategory name and the sales, right? That is called as tooltip, where the details will be available here. But if you think, if I don't move the cursor also, if I wanted to display the sales also on the graph, then at that time what we will do, we'll have T option here, that is called as label. And at the same time, we are having, if you can see, we are having three boxes here, three cards, I can say: pages card, filters card, and marks card. Accordingly, if we want to apply filters to our data, we will use this thing. In marks card, we are having so many options or settings, I can say. If we want to change the color to our graph, I will use this. If I want to change the size, I'll use this. If I want to, enable some text to the graph, I'll use this. Like that, we'll having some options here. If we want any dimension for detail, if I want to use any column for detail analysis, I'll use this. And tooltip is what we saw here. Like if I'm keeping my cursor here, in the tooltip, it is showing me subcategory and sales, right? Even I can edit here. If I double click, I can edit and I can write. If I want to show in some, I mean, if I, whatever I wanted to show, I can just write it here and I can just save it. Like that it is. So let me display the sales here. Either I can click from here, or else from the label part also we can do that. I'm just clicking the T icon here. Automatically it is just showing me the sales for each and every subcategory, what is the sales available, right? And if I want to create my graph in a more colorful way, suppose I can drag subcategory to the color part here. I'm dragging subcategory, I'm dropping it in the color part. I got separate colors for each and every subcategory here, right? And towards the right side, we'll have something called as legend. We'll call this as legend, and there it will just show us about the details here, like or the list of the subcategories we are having and which subcategory is taking what color, like that information it will give us. Okay, and if we again will have one option here where we can adjust our size. This is the standard mode. If I want entire view, if I select entire view, I can able to view my graph like this. Okay, accordingly for the same data, if I wanted to rename this sheet, here you can see sheet 1. Here also I'm having sheet 1. If I want to rename, I will just rename here directly as maybe horizontal bar graph. I got the name is changed here also. This is the sheet name. If I wanted to create another sheet, I'm having three options here. First icon is about to open a new sheet. Second icon is to open a new dashboard. A dashboard is nothing but if I'm opening a new sheet, I can create one more graph here. Okay. Dashboard is nothing but the collection of graphs. If I wanted to display some multiple graphs together in one single view, we'll create a dashboard. In real time, basically mostly will work on dashboards only. Next, we are having one more concept called as story. The third icon is that Tableau story is nothing but here we will just try to show all the collections of the Tableau sheets and Tableau dashboards together in one story. We will just basically we'll create a story which indicates which represents the complete analysis what we are creating. Okay, we will see all these concepts going forward very practically. For now, I just open my sheet 2. Suppose I can select any of the graphs here. Maybe I'll select order date now. You can see year of order date I got, right? This is the year column. Actually, this data consists of from 2018 to 2021 only I'm having. And all the date columns by default, we'll call them as hierarchy columns. That means here I can able to see year-wise data. If I wanted to see quarter-wise data, I'll have plus icon here. If I click, I will get quarter-wise data. If I again expand this, I will get month-wise data. If I again expand, I will get day-wise data. Like that, all the date columns whatever we will have in our data source, all those date columns in the Tableau are by default hierarchy. We'll call it as hierarchy fields. We can just expand like this whatever we want. If I don't want, either I can just click this drop down and click on remove option, or else simply I will just click this minus, then it will just remove. Like that, by default all the date columns are hierarchies. Again, we'll for if we want to create a hierarchy on any other columns other than dates, we can create them. We'll have an option to create also. We will see that also how to create in going forward classes. Okay, for now I selected year wise data, so I wanted to say year wise sales. Maybe I'll select sales. Okay, so if here we are having so many graphs. Actually, just creating graphs is easy, but we need to understand for what kind of data, what type of graphs we need to create. That one we need to we should have that kind of understanding by in going forward in our visualizations concept. I will give you so much of clarity that for what kind of data, what type of graphs we will use, like that. And not only this inbuilt graphs, we are having so many advanced graphs like donut charts, waterfall charts, funnel charts, lollipop charts, word cloud charts, like that. We're having so many advanced charts. All those, to create those charts, those will be not available here. To create those charts, we need to follow some steps actually. So we will learn how to create those advanced charts also. Okay. For now, I'm selecting a line chart here. By using the line chart, we can able to understand the sales very clearly. I'll just click on T option so that it will just display me the sales values here. For 2018, this is my sales. 2019, this is my sales. 2020 and 2021, like that. If I wanted to, detailing, if I wanted to use any other dimension also, suppose if I'm having category, I'll just drag category into the detail part. Then it will show us for each and every category what is our sales. Like that, accordingly, we can have so many types of graphs, and according to our requirement, we will create the graphs. Suppose let me use any scatter plot. That is, I wanted to select sales and profit here. I'll just drag subcategory into this part. We are having so many subcategories here. So for each and every subcategory, what is the sale and what is the profit we got? Suppose let me just increase the size little bit. And I'm dragging subcategory to the text part. It will show each and every circle. It is showing me each and every point. It is showing me what is the subcategory name, and wherever it is just showing me the intersection of, what is the sale. If this point, it represents the, what is the particular, intersection point of profit and sale, I can say. For binders, this is my sale and this is the profit I got. Like that, for now, as is our demo class, I'm not detailing explaining, about this graph and how we will create it. In going forward, whenever we are learning our visualizations, I will explain very detailing how to create the graphs and what is this graph indicates. What kind of data we need to use to create these graphs. Basically, why we create this graph, like that, we will understand. Okay. So like this, we will create some graphs. As I said, creating graphs is very easy in Tableau, but we need to understand about the graphs in detail. In which scenarios we will use which graph, for which kind of data we will use which graph, like that. What kind of data we'll use which graph, like that. And not only creating graphs, we are having so many options here, like calculated fields, parameters, sets, groups. We are having so many options. We are having so many filters, so many filters available here. Everything we will learn very practically. Okay. Suppose let me show you something. Let me show you in this only. I already created a horizontal bar here. So this is just representing me subcategory by sales. Suppose if I wanted to create here, I just, what I can say, I just selected all the subcategories and I just displayed it in the descending order. Suppose imagine that I wanted to display, my client or my user wanted me to show only top 5 subcategories. Top 5 subcategories with respect to sales. That is for whatever subcategories I'm having. Uh, on what subcategories I got highest sales, I mean top 5 sales. For that, if I want to create like that, what I will do here, I will just create a filter first. Let me show you how to create. Suppose I'll drag. I wanted top 5 subcategories, right? I'll just there is a filters card here. I'll drag subcategory to the filters card. So we will have we can get to see this kind of dialog box, I can say. This is called as filter card for dimension. We are having so many options here: wild, general, wildcard, condition, top. We will discuss everything detailing in going forward classes. For now, I'll just show you the top tab. In this, we can select by field option. That is, I wanted to display top 5 subcategories with respect to sales, right? So that is the reason. Here we'll have top and bottom 2 options. If I wanted to create top 5, I'll use top here. If I wanted to, I can just write that 5. It has, no, I will write it as 5. So it will display top 5. By default, it took sales because I already created graph here in this sheet with respect to sales. Or else if I want any another category, I'll just select from here. Okay, suppose top 5 profits I want to know, I'll just select profit from here. So for now, I wanted to know top 5 sales only. So like this, I will just set and I'll just click on OK. So it is just showing me, let me just go to the standard view. So it is just showing me top 5 sales available, right? These are my top 5 sales. These are my top 5 subcategories with respect to the sales. Okay, so this is a kind of filter. We are having so many filter options, so many types of filters. But for now, I'm just trying to show you how to create top 5 sales. Okay, so like this, I created top 5 sales. Okay, but this is a static way of creating. In real time, we should learn how to create dynamic way of graphs. I mean, we need to create graphs in a dynamic way. Suppose my user wanted to see top 5 sales today, but going forward, maybe tomorrow or maybe after a while, he wanted to see top 10. Then he wanted to see top 7. At that time, if we create this, it will just create a static kind of graph. You cannot able to change anything. Whatever value we given, only that values it is just showing me, right? If then next, if we wanted to see top 10, again we need to do the same process. Instead of that, we should create graphs in a dynamic way so that whenever our user wants to, filter how many sales he wanted to see, like top 5, top 7, top 10, accordingly, he can able to give the inputs and he can able to display the graphs. So that is called as dynamic way of creation. By using parameters concept, we'll do that. Let me show you. I'm just opening another new sheet. I'll just, for the same thing, I'll just select subcategory wise sales. Maybe I'll select the bar graph. Okay, the same concept, whatever we did. So now we need to create graph in a dynamic way. So the same filters here, I created top 5 filters. Now I wanted to create the same top 5. It's not top 5, I can say top n sales. N in the sense any number he can give, right? So with the help of a parameter is something which helps to give the input values by the user. Okay, let me show you. So maybe let me display the sales also here, and I'll drag subcategory to the filters card. Again, the same top option. I'll go to by field, top sales. Here, previously, the number is 10. I mean, by default, we are getting top 10 here. Previously, I gave 5. But I don't want to create any static thing. I wanted to create in a dynamic way. So for that, I'll just click a drop down. I'll have something called as create a new parameter. I need to create a parameter here, and this is the parameter create box. I can give any name here. Maybe I'll write it as top in sales. Okay. By default, as we already, I mean, there are 2, 3 ways to create a parameter. Here, I'm just already selected the graph, and I just from the filter card, I selected a parameter, right? So that is the reason Tableau knows that I'm going to create a parameter for sales because I already selected sales here, right? So that is the reason by default data type it took as integer, and it is disabled. But if I create, before creating any of this thing, if I create parameter normally, from here also we can able to create parameter. Going forward, I'll show you that. At that time, it will, this data type option will be enabled for us. On whatever column we are going to use, accordingly that data type we need to select. Okay. So, and we'll have something called as current value and display format. You can see current value is nothing but value when workbook opens. So of course, I'm creating a dynamic way to display the sales, but whenever I open the workbook for the first time, so how many values we wanted to display for the first time is that I mean, that is what this value is actually. So suppose I created 5 here. Let me create 6 here. If I keep the 6, whatever I'm giving in the current value, display format is also will be the same. So if I create 6 and if I click on OK, whenever I open my workbook, for the first time, I can able to see top 6 sales. Again, next, the user can able to change the parameter value accordingly. Okay, so this is in the current value I'm giving as 6. We have so many options here like allowable values. In going forward, whenever we are learning about parameters concept, we will see what is all list and everything. For now, it is on the range as a data type as integer kind of thing. Let me keep it as range. Minimum value, maximum value we can select, and step size is also we can select. That is one. I'll say what is step size in a while. Next, I'll keep this options as it is. In the going forward classes, I will explain detailedly about all the options. Now I'm just created one parameter. I'm clicking on OK. You can see now instead of 10 or 5 static value, I got top in sales here, right? The whatever parameter I created, that parameter's name I can able to see. I'll click on OK. You can see here automatically I got top 6 sales. Let me just top 6 I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? I'll just drag subcategory to the color part. This is my top 6 sales because current value we created top in the current value I gave 6. That is the reason once I created or whenever I open the workbook for the first time, it will show me the 6 values. But here our requirement or intention is to create a create this graph in a dynamic way that whenever our user wanted to see top 10, he can able to select. So that for that reason, we used parameters. And if you can see here, whenever whatever parameter I created, I got a separate panel here called as parameters, and that parameters name I can able to see here. So if I click on this drop down, I will have an option to, one second. I already created parameter, just a second. Yeah. So I'm just right clicking on the top end cells, whatever parameter we created, then we'll get an option called as show parameter. Okay, we need to open that. After creating any parameter in the filters card, we created one parameter, or else I can directly have an option here. In this, I'll have an option to create parameter. From here also I can create. Okay, after creating a parameter, whatever parameter name I gave, one separate panel called as parameter is one separate shelf will be created, and here it will show us the list of parameters we created basically. So I created this one. Now I'm right clicking on it. I'll have an option called as show parameter. I'll just click it towards the, once I selected that, towards the right side, I can able to see this value. Right, by default it is 6 because whenever I'm creating, I gave current value as 6. If I wanted to change, I'll just change like this. If I clicked here 7, I can get able to see top 7 sales, next top 8 sales, or else I can even change this type. I'll having drop down here. I'll select that. By default, I'm having a slider option. I'll select type in so that user can type accordingly. If I wanted to see top 10, he'll just enter top 10. You need to click somewhere, I mean, out of that box, then it will show us the top 10. Suppose I wanted to see only top 4. I'll enter that value. I'll click outside somewhere. It will show me top 4 values. Like that, user can select accordingly how many values he can see, and suppose he wanted to see some top values one time and later he wanted to see another top values, right? Accordingly, user can give the inputs. Whatever inputs the user is giving, the graphs will be changed accordingly, right? This is how we will create the top end sheets. Okay, and the same way we can create bottom end cells in a separate file. Just now, because if you can remember, we saw that option. Let me create it here only. So this is my complete graph. I'll drag the subcategory to the filters card. In the top, instead of top, I will select bottom, right? If I'm clicking the cursor here, I can able to see the new create parameter. I'll give bottom end sales here. Okay, current value is 10. Let me give it as 5. Step size, let me select as 1. Now let me explain about step size. Here I gave 1. I'm clicking on OK. I'm clicking on OK. I got my bottom sales. As I selected 5, I got the 5. Let me right click here and I'll click on show parameter. Okay, I got this. So step size is nothing but I say selected one. Whenever I'm just trying to represent or trying to, if I displayed my parameter in this slider option, whenever I'm sliding, I'm selecting next option, I can able to see 6. If I'm clicking next, I can able to see 7 because of the step size is selected as 1. Let me edit this. We can even edit this by right clicking. We'll have edit option. Here, if I choose step size as 2, I'm clicking on OK. If I am changing here, next value will be my 9. Next value will be my 11. That means according to the step size, whatever we given, that many values we can able to increment here whenever we are selecting the sales like that. I hope I'm clear. This is one way of creating top end and bottom end sales. But if you observe, one graph I created top end sales, in another graph I created bottom end sales. But if I wanted to see top end and bottom end sales in one complete sheet, okay, because in one sheet I'm having top values and another sheet I'm having bottom values. In only one sheet, if I wanted to show top values and bottom values together, along with these parameters, we will use another concept called as sets. So in going forward classes, I will show you very clearly about that concept. Okay. So like this, we're having so many concepts here. As this is a demo class, I cannot really explain here and there. We need to explain each and every concept in Tableau in a flow. Okay. So from Monday, we will start our actual classes. So let me just show you the course content once again. And let me just tell you one more point here. I already started one batch last week. We already have 4 students there. And this is kind of add-on batch. As today is Saturday, maybe for demos no one came, but yesterday we already got some 4 to 5 students. So whoever interested, as you know the process of how we will, as you already my previous student, as you know the process. So whoever get registered for them, they will get a new Zoom link, and we will continue with our actual classes from Monday. If you are interested, please get registered with us before Monday. Then, as of course, this is a morning batch only, right? So, registered till Sunday, you will get a new Zoom link. And then you can just connect in that Zoom link at the same time, and we'll continue our classes. Okay. Let me show you the course content first. Just a second. So, introduction to Tableau, Tableau features, Tableau products, implementation of Tableau in real world, user interface of Tableau desktop. Once we are done with demo classes, I will show you the installation process of Tableau desktop, data types in Tableau, generating Tableau reports from text files and Excel files, what is measures and dimensions, what is continuous and discrete data. These are all the options which we had in this thing, in the marks card, which we already almost covered. Next, Tableau architecture, then SQL Server basic concepts with installation. In this, we will learn SQL Server. So I'll show you the installation process of SQL Server and I'll cover some basic concepts. Next, generating Tableau, how we will create Tableau reports by using SQL Server. Then what is data warehouse? Basically in Tableau, we will deal with data warehouse concepts also. So what is the difference between database and data warehouse? Everything we will learn. Next, here also we will use some real-time database only. I won't explain each and every graph by using some sample data. Throughout my course, I will use mostly this sample superstore data, whatever we saw just now. Along with that, in SQL Server, we will use one database called as AdventureWorks. That is again the same thing we will use as a database, and the same thing we can use as a data warehouse. So how to restore database and data warehouse, I will show you going forward. I'll give you that database and we will see how we will use that database in the form of data warehouse. Okay, next we are having Tableau connections, Tableau access, joins. We already covered joins in SQL. We know that is important. And the same joins, we will deal with the joins in the Tableau level also. Next, we are having data blending, filters in Tableau, Tableau actions, hierarchy, Tableau parameters, creating and using parameters, creation of dynamic graphs, and then visualizations. What are all the 24 inbuilt graphs available? All those graphs, how to create it, everything we will discuss detailedly about the graphs, what kind of data we need to use, I mean, for what kind of data we will use which graph, everything we will discuss detailedly in this concept. Then we are having some advanced graphs. We will cover all those advanced graphs also, the steps, how, whatever we will follow to create those graphs. Next, Tableau sets using parameters, Tableau groups. Then we'll have an important concept called as Tableau calculated fields, in which we will use so many inbuilt graphs basically to create any calculated fields. We'll use these functions and we will learn how to create a calculated field and what are the functions we have. Next, drop line, trend line, and forecasting line. Not only, basically we will create the graphs. Suppose here you can see I created order wise one line graph. Every year, what is my sales? So like that, we will analyze something. Suppose here we can analyze some trends, like every year how my sales is being, which trend it is following. Not only the historical data, we will also forecast the data, like maybe I'll also create a graph which helps me to understand what will be about my future data, what will be my sales, like for the next 6 months, what, how my sales will be, for the next 1 year how my sales will be. Even we'll create some forecasting, we'll have one forecasting option. We'll create graphs for future data also. Next, most important, Tableau dashboards and Tableau stories. Next, Tableau online, how we will create online account, how we will we will have some options called as scheduling, how we will create and modify that. And next, Tableau server, as I said, we'll have so many functionalities, so many options there. We will learn everything very practically. Next, we'll cover Tableau prep, what are all the cleaning options we are having, what are all the ETL steps we need to follow, and what are all the functionalities we'll have in Tableau prep. We will discuss detailedly. I'll show you the installation process of Tableau server, Tableau prep at that time, and we'll cover all the concepts. Next, Tableau bins. Okay, and along with that, this is the all the concepts which we are going to cover. Once we are done with that, we will learn one real-time dashboard creation in the HR analytics dashboard domain, HR analytics domain. Let me just show you that one also. Just a second. So this is the dashboard which we are going to create at the end once we are done with all the concepts. In real time also, we will create like this of dashboards only. So from scratch, we'll create this dashboard. We will create the dashboard very technically. We will see all the options, how we can create one dashboard like this. This is the output which we will get. We will see, we'll create this practically at the end. This is a kind of real-time dashboard. In in companies also we will create dashboards in this way, right? So that is about the course content. And as you know, the course duration is of 40 days and the course fees is only 6,000. So this is our last demo, I can say. Whoever registered, for them, they will get a link and we will connect on Monday. As I said, this is an add-on batch. I already have one batch. So, but I'm not thinking to change this time. I'm just, once we just balance the concepts, I'll just try to, I already asked those students to connect for this timing only. So our timing will be from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST only. Okay. I hope I'm clear, Igor. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Yes, so how's the market when it comes to a Tableau
Sorry,
developer?
could you please repeat?
And like how is the market in case someone have to become a developer, a Tableau developer? How's the market? Is
Uh,
that
it
a
is it is obviously, as you know, that this is a field of AI, right? We are having so many, everything how data science and AI is having, how much demand is having right now. So Tableau or any visualization tool comes under data science only, right? We are having so much of demand for data analysts right now because it is the only, data analytics is the only role I can say which is used for every domain, not only single domain. It will in every domain, in every company, we will data analysts are required nowadays, right? Because obviously they are the people who will analyze their business data, and by whatever analysis we'll do, whatever graphs or dashboards will create according to our inputs only. Everyone is doing business now according to whatever graphs we create. Then by understanding or analyzing that only, they are coming to one conclusion that what measures should they take to, what measures should they basically apply to increase their profits. Not only one domain, maybe it may be banking, it may be finance, it may be any e-commerce websites, it may be even pharmacy. Everywhere, every company, data analysts are required. Again, as I said, to we are having so many visualization tools in the market. Tableau and Power BI are two powerful tools which is having equal importance. Most of the companies are either using Tableau or either using Power BI. If you learn anything, anyone is fine. And the Tableau, we are having so many products in it. As I said, ETL tool is available within the Tableau, and we are having so many features which helps us to, uniquely, which keeps Tableau as unique with respect to the Power BI. So again, Power BI is also having the equal, demand right now. You can learn any of the visualization tool, but to start, to be a perfect data analyst or to be any visualization developer, you need to have knowledge on SQL. Along with that, you need to learn any of the visualization tool. Then you can start your career as a data analyst or a Tableau developer. Along with that, you if you learn going forward, if you learn some concepts of Python, that will be again an added advantage for you. But without Python also, only with SQL and any by learning Tableau, you can just you're having so many opportunities all over the world. If you are from any country also, you can just find it. Even in you can just Google it. We'll have so many opportunities for Tableau developers and data analysts. The market is really high for this field, and it will going in going forward also, the demand will be continue. I hope I gave you answer.
Yes, my second question, how's the interview process when it's come to
Yeah, interview process is definitely, as I said, whenever you attend any Tableau developer role or data analyst role, according to the job description, you can just understand what are all the concepts they're expecting from you. But again, if it is any company and if you are trying for how many years of experience is also irrespective of that, everyone will, first in the maximum in the first round of interview, they will try to filter you on the basis of SQL, and then they will check you your Tableau knowledge. And going forward, I mean, as you know, for Tableau also, everyone will ask you to, show. I mean, they will filter you on the basis of your practical knowledge only. They will give you some scenarios and they will ask you to create some graphs or to create some. It's not kind of dashboard. They'll just suppose if we just created one graph, like we created how to create top 5 sales in one graph, right? Like that, they will ask you the scenario and they will expect you to create then and there. So we need to practice Tableau. Again, Tableau is a very easy subject, I can say, but we need to learn everything. We are having so many concepts and so many options available here. We need to, but we will become pro in Tableau whenever we explore and whenever we practice only. So everything nowadays in interviews, they are asking very practically. We need to be sure, we need to thorough with each and every concepts of SQL and Tableau.
so it means you we have to share your screen and then build the dashboard. Is that it?
Yes, that is what they're doing actually. Some clients, they are directly asking us to share our screen, or in companies some companies, they are just showing their screen and they are giving the access from they're asking us to create some graphs on their data only, like that. Or mostly they will give us the data and they will ask us to share the screen and they will ask us to create, like that only it's happening.
Okay. And at the end of this, will you be able to draft any resume sample for us? Is
uh,
there any
re- Resumes,
yes?
of course, I can help you out on resumes also, but as I said, it again depends whether you are trying as a fresher or whether you're having some experience. Nowadays, the concept is that, as you know, we will our resumes is getting some weightage whenever we are having some real-time projects and all. So once we'll just practice here, you can see whatever dashboard we are creating here. Even that dashboard you can add as a one kind of project. I mean, you can add like you have having hands-on experience of creating some real-time dashboards in HR analytics kind of thing. Like that, you can even add in your resume. So of course, if you want, I will help you out in giving you some sample resumes. Accordingly, you need to prepare your resume.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Like that. So, or else if you know everything, obviously we will learn practically. If you get time, if you can create some more graphs or dashboards on your own, you can even showcase all those dashboards. You can create one GitHub account, and maybe you can just use that link in your resume, which will also help you to showcase your real time or hands on experience in the subject, right? So that
Right.
is how we will learn Tableau actually. I will explain each and every concept from scratch and very practically, so that at the end of the day, you will be able to create any of dashboards on your own, like that. So, as if everything is clear, I will end the session, Igor. Do you have any other doubts?
Uh, well, with this, how many years of experience can we uh, put on the resume after completing all the
Okay, it again actually depends. For Tableau developers, even starting from freshers also can able to apply for Tableau developers according to our own profile, according to our own I mean what is your graduation year and whether you are working or whether you're having some gap. According to that, you can keep some experience, as you know. And whatever concepts you are going to cover, for that concepts you can expect, as you can just work as like 4 to 5 years of experience candidates, or you can just keep it up to 4 to 5 years.
okay.
That
Okay.
all those concepts we will cover. Well, once we've done this concept, once we done this course, you can whoever is working as from whoever is having real time 4 or 5 plus years of experience, all those concepts you will learn practically. I mean, what concepts they will work on, all those concepts will cover.
Thanks.
Okay, great. So if that is so, I'll end the session. And as you know, you will get an email from our admin team if you like the if you wanted to go for. I mean, if you like, please get registered with us. Okay. On Monday, let's meet on the same timing, 8 a.m. IST. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.